Billy, obviously things didn't go your way last time you stepped in the cage. First UFC loss. I guess what did you take out of that one?
Yeah, John, you look so excited to say that. Yeah, it was a tough loss. But I was on a 9-fight winning streak, including a pro boxing match, and it seemed like everything was going great. And then losing, it was a good wake up call. It was a good thing that it gave me a chance to look back on my other training camps and kind of nitpick at what I was doing. And there was a lot of stuff that I was able to address and kind of correct. I've had 7 months since that fight, and you're going to see a new and improved Billy Q, and I can't wait.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to ask you about the time off, the 7 months. Was that by design? I mean, did you want to take a little time after the loss to work on things?
Yes and no. There was a few things I had to get done. I was cornering one of my teammates in Abu Dhabi in January, and then I was getting married in March. So I didn't really want to be in a training camp necessarily in that time frame. So that kind of started that off, and it's a good thing to do. I don't think it's great to rush into a fight after a loss, and especially having a fight that I could look back on and you got to work on this, you got to do this, you got to do this. I think it was a good thing, and I think it was like I said, you're going to see a whole new competitor in there. And I did come off a loss, but I still got to look at, I've been pretty successful in the UFC so far. And to be 4-1 after this fight, 3 finishes is what I'm going for. And I'll still be proud of that after this fight.
I was going to say, is there almost a danger? Because you're right. I mean, the losses are great because it does force you to analyze things, but is there also a danger in going like, hey, we don't need to get away from everything? Like some things were going really well.
Of course. And, like I was saying, when you're winning like that, it was almost to the point where I was taking fights quickly. Right after the Kyle Nelson fight, Gavin Tucker mentioned me again. I was like, all right, let's do it. And I only had like a 6-week training camp for that. I wasn't in the best of shape when training camp started. Not to make excuses. He whooped my butt that day. And, but now that I've had a lot of time to get ready for this fight. Even I was supposed to fight Herbert Burns, and they still gave me another 5 or 6 weeks to get ready for Benitez. So it's been just a great training camp. I started off training camp probably in the best shape that I've ever been in, and right now I'm definitely in the best shape that I've ever gone into a fight.
Nice. Change of opponent, like you said, like plenty of time to prepare. But the change, did you like the matchup more? Did you like the other one before? I mean, did it change anything in terms of like your excitement level for it?
I just think stylistically they're completely different. Benitez being a lefty striker, boxer, and Herbert Burns is a right-handed guy who just wants to get the fight to the floor. Stylistically, I think they're completely different. But for me, basically, whoever the UFC gave me, I was going to fight. The excitement level, I think, is a little bit more. I definitely got a little more excited for this fight just because I think it has the potential to be a fight of the night. Obviously, I would rather take a performance of the night, go out there and take him out and get the win. But I think Herbert is more of a ground specialist. He wants to get the fight to the ground. Fans don't always enjoy that as much, where Benitez, I think I'm going to have my option whether I want to strike with him, if I want to take it to the floor, and he's usually pretty exciting. He's a high-level striker. He puts on a show. He wants to keep it on the feet. I definitely know that, and I think it has a more excitement level for the fans.
Yeah. Any concerns at all about him making weight, or can you let yourself think about that?
It's not really a concern, but it's something obviously to think about. His last fight, I think he missed weight by like 4 or 5 pounds, which is a pretty big deal. We got to make a decision as a team if he does miss weight, if we're going to take the fight, which I hate saying no. So, we most likely will, unless it's like that again. If it's by that much, who knows? But that's on him. We just got to make sure. My team we got to make sure we're doing everything right, making sure our weight comes off good. And I've never missed weight before, so I don't think it's going to be an issue for us.
Not to spend too much time on it, but it's funny because, right, I think it was so unique because people don't normally turn down fights because exactly that. Like, nobody wants to turn it down, right? But do you think it's something people should consider more of? I mean, if a guy's 4 or 5 pounds over, that's pretty significant.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly the numbers. I saw someone on Twitter mention it after this last fight that they said – I don't know the exact numbers, but they said most of the time the person that misses weight usually wins the fight, and it's probably not coincidental. So It is interesting because we put all this work into this whole training camp. I can't believe someone could come in that much overweight. Like I'll do whatever it takes to make weight and at least get a little bit closer. So I don't know what his issues were last fight, but I'm sure he's been thinking about it a lot for this fight. So I don't think he's going to have an issue with it. But if he does, we'll cross that road when we get there.
Nice. Win here. What's the plan? I mean, like you said, you took some time off, had some great things in life. But do you feel like you need to make up for lost time or stay busy? What's the plan?
I definitely want to fight again at least one more time this year. My wife, who I got married to in March, we have a honeymoon plan next week. So we're going to the Virgin Islands next week and have a nice little vacation. And then after this, since this is my 5th fight at the Apex, I'll fight whoever, do whatever I can do to fight on U.S. soil with fans. So I'm definitely eyeing that November card at Madison Square Garden. That would be a dream come true. Growing up in Buffalo, that was always a huge venue. But if they want me to fight sooner, I could probably be ready sooner, depending on how this fight goes. Getting all banged up. So really, the biggest goal for me is just to fight with fans. Since I grew up watching the UFC, having fans there has always been a goal, and to have 5 fights in the Apex, it's just been pretty crazy.
Nice. Last thing for me, you said I think a lot of people have this one circled as potential fight of the night. So when you play this one out in your head, I'm sure you'd like to go, throw one punch and be done. But what kind of fight do you think we're going to see?
Yeah, I think we're both gonna be pretty banged up after this one. He's a super aggressive fighter. He's hard to take out. I'm super hard to take out too. I've only been finished once, and it seems like every fight he's in, he comes out throwing super aggressive. So you're gonna see that from me too. I'm trying to take his head off early, trying to hurt him first, and I definitely just see one of those bang out fights where we're both throwing bombs at each other. And I can see it going in later rounds, but I'm definitely looking for that early finish. If he gets too aggressive, I definitely can see myself taking him out early.
Hey, Billy.
Hey, what's up, Amy? How are you?
Got a question for you.
Awesome.
When you have an opponent change, do you change up your game plan, or are you one that has a game plan for no matter the opponent?
Yeah. Well, we kind of had to switch up the game plan a little bit for this fight, just because stylistically, both guys are so different. Herbert Burns just wants to take you, right to the ground. So I actually enjoyed the training camp because the first half of it, we were doing a ton of wrestling, ton of jiu-jitsu. We were doing some striking. And then when the opponent changed, we're doing a lot more, striking, getting prepared for that southpaw. So we really worked everything. You're always working a little bit of everything, but to really focus in on first grappling and then a lot more striking, defense and offense, it definitely changes things up a little bit.
And we've seen an increase in the bone breaks just last weekend. As a fighter, when you're watching that kind of stuff, do you hesitate and go, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this?
Oh man, yeah, it's definitely, this year has been pretty crazy with MMA injuries. I saw on a local show, a guy his finger broke off completely and got severed. And then you see all these leg breaks. It's just a reminder that anything can happen in there. But no, I'm still gonna, it's still a fight. You get all your weapons. I like to use kicks. I like to throw punches. I like to try to check kicks too. So yes and no. It's a good reminder that anything could happen in there. But at the end of the day, when that bell rings, I'm still gonna try to use all my weapons to win the fight.
My last one for you. You mentioned on, I believe, Instagram that you want to be on the SportsCenter top 5. What are you going to do to get on the top 5?
Great question. Really, my whole style has always been be as exciting as possible. I understand that, like I said, I grew up watching the UFC. I loved exciting fights. You obviously can tell the difference between an exciting fight and a boring fight. I've always wanted to be one of those guys that you're like, oh man, Billy Q's fighting. It's going to be, turn your TV on, turn the volume up. It's going to be an exciting fight. So I think just with my style, I'm just going to go out there and do what I've always tried to do, and that's put on an exciting show. It does feel a lot different at the Apex because it's kind of quiet and it feels a little bit more like a chess match, which with the fans, they really get me going. But I can still use that, and I can still put on an exciting fight at the Apex. I've had a few good ones already, and just fighting my style, I think we'll get that top 5, SportsCenter top 5, because I got number 6 last time.